Hello and welcome to LTV1 Macroom, your local television station covering local events in your area. And we now continue this week with the news. Hello and welcome to this week's LTV1 News Roundup and Sport. We'll let us start off tonight by informing you that we've an email here received from the National Cancer Screening Service, and this is to do with breast check. And they're informing us that breast check will be offered to women between the age of 50 and 64 who are living west of Cork City, that's including the Ballincollig and Macroom area. And this will start at the end of January 2009. Now, that is that women will receive an appointment by post to attend the breast check southern unit, which is placed in the Infirmary Road in Cork. And this is situated next to the Southern Infirmary Victoria University Hospital. Breast check aims to reduce the number of deaths from breast cancer by finding and treating the disease at an early stage. Now, breast check compiles a registered list of women between the ages of 50 and 64, and they receive these details from the Department of Social and Family Affairs, and also from insurers in the general medical services. Now, what they're asking us is that they're encouraging all eligible women, as I say, between the ages of 50 and 64, to make sure their name is on the register by. You can put your name on the register by free phoning the following number. It's 1800 45 45 55. I'll give you that number again. It's 1800 45 45 55, or you can visit www.breastcheck.ie. All screening units are fully accessible to people with disabilities. Breast check are asking that a woman advise in advance if special needs are to be accommodated for. So again, as I said, this is an important announcement, and we are appealing to women between the ages of 50 and 65 to make sure that your name is on the list. And again, I'll give you the free phone number that you can ring. It's 1800 45 45 55. Now, there's a pilgrimage from Mid-Cork, and it's going to Fatima. This is a yearly pilgrimage, and the spiritual director for this pilgrimage is Father Donal O'Brien. It will depart Cork Airport on the 10th of October and will return on the 17th of October 2009. There are guided tours including the pilgrimage, and the all-in price is €825. Now, anybody interested in taking part in this pilgrimage, if you contact please O'Driscoll Travel at Macroom, that's 026 41342, or at Mill Street on 029 70030. That's Mid-Cork pilgrimage to Fatima, the 10th to the 17th of October 2009. Now, anybody interested in taking part in some night classes, McEgan College is again offering a wide range of night classes in its spring brochure. The classes will consist of digital photography, baking, cake decoration, reflexology, and also offer some computer classes, guitar classes, creative writing, and wood turning. Enrollment at the college will take place at an adult education open night, which is on January the 19th at 7:30 p.m. and courses will commence on Monday, January the 26th at the McEgan College. And as I say, brochures of these classes are available at the college or from Macroom Library on the main street. That's McEgan College again, as starting evening classes on January 26th, and details are available from the school or from the library in the main street. Now, recently, Macroom Town Council held their estimates meeting that's setting the budget for 2009, and as we say, in the present economic climate that we're in, the council decided that there would be no increase in the commercial rate in the town for 2009. That's in order to give the business people a chance. As I say, we're in hard times at the moment. But in order to offset the deficit, pay parking in the town has been increased from 80 cents to 90 cents. That's a 10 cent increase. And pay parking has not actually been increased in Macroom over the past 3 years. And as well as that, the council decided not to cut any of grants which they were making available to voluntary and community groups in the town, because they felt that the money which was being given to these groups is money that's value for money. All the groups that are getting the money are giving a tremendous service to the town, and the council appreciated that. And we'll just give you a breakdown of the following groups that will be receiving money in 2009 from Macroom Town Council, and that is the Bury Gap Theatre and Culture Centre on the Main Street is receiving a grant of €16,000. The St. Patrick's Day and St. Patrick's Week Festival Committee, they're receiving a grant of €12,000. And as we said to you last week, there are 170, I think, Americans coming to the town for that week, which is also a huge benefit to Macroom. The Macroom Tiny Towns Committee, they're receiving a grant of €8,000, and they also do fabulous work for Macroom during the whole year, keeping the town tidy and really ready for the Tiny Towns competition. The Twinning Committee, they're receiving a grant of €8,000, and they also do a lot of hard work for the town, promoting the town abroad with our two twin towns, Bewbury in France and Marcello Calcalzone in Italy. €7,000 goes towards the Macroom Sports Complex, where again there's a lot of work being done there, providing games and facilities for the youth of the town. The Eco-Label project receives €5,500. This project has been running for some years now, and is also making sure that Macroom stays within its brief of becoming the e-capital of Ireland, with all the different environmental projects which are taking place. Macroom Local Television, that's their own station, will receive a grant of €2,500, and this grant is also very welcome because, as we say, LTV is a local community service, providing community news and various events to the community of the Macroom Lee Valley area, and that grant is very much appreciated from the council. There's also an 8,000 grant, which is an amenity grant which groups in the town apply for throughout the year, and the council decides then where this money is allocated to. So overall, as I say, money they are being granted to various organisations, and the commercial rate in the town stays as it was for 2008, and hopefully this will help the business people of the town. Now, sport for last weekend in the West Cork League. Very few matches played here due to weather conditions, and in Division 2 League, Mizzen AFC 3, Clodove 1, Rosscarbery 3, Ceylon 0. Now, fixtures for next weekend, that's Sunday, January the 18th, in the Premier Division League. Leaside from Inchigeelagh take on Demanway at 12 p.m. in Inchigeelagh. In the Division 1 League, Crookstown take on Castleack at 11 a.m. in Crookstown. Kilmichael Rovers take on Bay Rovers at 11 a.m. in Kilmichael. And Drumree Dynamos take on Toker Celtic at 2:30 p.m. in Drumree. In the Division 2 League, Harbour United take on Clodove at 2:30 p.m. and Moliga Celtic take on Ceylon at 2:30 p.m. Now, the GA scene is not much happening at the moment. The inter-county scene has started with Cork footballers and hurlers taking part in competitions this weekend. We'd just like to give you a small reminder of the championship draws in the county where local teams are involved for 2009, and in the Premier Intermediate Football Championship, Ballingeary take on Glenmore in that first round game, and in the Intermediate A Football Championship, Arborough take on Adragol, Erogue will be playing Delaney's, Kinnamato take on Ballyclaw, and Macroom take on Kinsale, and Kenneby will play Youghal. They are the championship draws. We just like to remind you of those again for 2009. Now, on Sunday in Macroom, as we told you last week, the Macroom Boxing Club held their annual boxing tournament. This was a very successful tournament. We went along with our cameras and we just took a few shots of what was happening down in the Macroom Sports Complex, and we'd like to bring you that now.
Central ring boys. Round of applause please for Wolf Box. The winner of that contest on a scoreline of 8 points to 5 in the red corner of Lisbon. The next contest was a no decision contest between Mike.
Now that's all I have for you this week. Again, I'd like to thank you for sending me in the information which I've received. And as I always say, if anybody has anything to be advertised or anything to be covered, would you please let us know. You can contact me, Pat O'Connell at LTV1 Macroom, and the phone number is 087 266 2192. Thank you for watching. I'd now like to hand you over to Ann Dunn, who is covering some local events in the area and also bringing you news from the Brody Gap Theatre and Cinema.
Now I'm here with the listings of entertainment for the coming weeks, and at Unit Cultura we have a new dance and music work by Rachel Holstead, composer and sound artist, and that is on Friday the 16th of January at 8:30 p.m. Tickets are €10 and concessions 5, and you can pre-book at 026 457 33. And at Brary Gap on Friday the 16th of January at 8 p.m. Corsetless by Catherine Eaton. And for this event we are offering to our viewers 2 tickets for the price of 1. That's a special offer for our viewers for Corsetless Friday the 16th of January at 8 p.m. And on Thursday the 12th of February at 8 p.m, Michael English in concert. Also our own Jim Murray with Seamus Begley on the 21st of February at 8:30 p.m, and that's the local launch of their new CD. And Sunday, February the 22nd at 8 p.m, The Voice of Joe Dolan with Pascal Brennan. Again, all booking is 026 41793. Thank you. Hello and welcome to the programme. Well, here I am now in Macroom Library this morning, and I'm not sure if you all know about it or not, but on the second Monday of each month they have something that's called the Gramophone Circle. Now this is music played for anybody that would like to listen, and later on we will have a chat with people that are here as an audience. But I'm joined today with Ken O'Callaghan and Eddie Hogan. Now Ken O'Callaghan I know already because he worked with RTE Cork and he gave me the fright of my life one time. A lot of you will remember when we won the Gayburn Community Talent Show. And the morning the results were announced, Ken happened to call to me at home for a different reason altogether. But of course, I said, he's from RTE, he's going to drop the hint somewhere along the way. And he got the china and everything, but it just was a pure coincidence. But anyway, we went on to win, so that's all history. So, Ken, what are you doing here in Macroom today?
Well, I'm a great classical music lover, and my friend Eddie here welcomed me into the Gramophone Circle when I retired, and I was delighted to become a member and to be involved both on the listener side and on the what we call the tracking side, playing the CDs for the person who's presenting. And we have several venues around the city and county, and we're out here this morning now presenting.
And how do you select the music? Is it your own choice, or do you try to get a feedback from your audience and try and select music to suit them? Or perhaps maybe this is Eddie's question. First of all, you're very welcome to the programme, Eddie.
We gauge our audience and we presume that they like the kind of music that we present. So we give a varied selection, so there is something to please everybody. It's a very wide selection. My programme this morning is a potpourri of music delights.
Oh, that's very nice indeed, and I'm sure that from time to time, if you're asked, you arrange requests for the next day out if that happens. So do you ever manage to have a little bit of a sing-along on the day?
Occasionally, yes. If there's a nice piece of music familiar to all of them, we invite them to join in if they would like to sing.
Right. Well, for those of you that don't know about this Gramophone Circle, this has really, really increased in numbers throughout the last few years. I think it started about 4 years ago, and the audience has got bigger and bigger. And of course, everybody has their own favourite music. So I'm going to ask him now, what does he like best, or what's his favourite choice of music? Maybe your top three, Ken.
My top three, well, I'm a big opera buff, and the operas from the Met on a Saturday night are absolutely brilliant, and now they're actually coming to the cinemas in Ireland. We can go down to the cinema in Dungarvan and see them live from the Metropolitan Opera House, or go to Dundrum Cinema in Dublin. Hopefully they'll come a bit nearer to Cork in the next few months, and we won't have to travel so far. But opera number one, Lucia de Lammermoor, would be my favourite of all operas. Number two, I'm a big Gilbert and Sullivan buff. I love anything to do with Gilbert and Sullivan. I was brought up on Gilbert and Sullivan, so any of the Gilbert and Sullivan patter songs I really love. And then recently I have taken up studying jazz, because I hated jazz as a child. I couldn't stand it, but it requires a very, very deep understanding to understand jazz, and I've been studying that, and I've got a very good friend who is, as the fellow said, educating me in it, and I'm very, very pleased that I've gone into that field now. So it's broadened my horizons where music is concerned completely.
Yeah, of course it is. And I suppose the Rat Pack and all that
Exactly.
kind of music has brought jazz to everyone's life.
Absolutely,
You know,
and we
more
have
than
the
the
big
past.
jazz festival in Cork, as you know, in
and that's
October,
extremely popular.
and that's extreme. We've seen some very
So
big
I'm
names.
going to tie you down another bit now, and I'm going to ask you to name a song.
Well,
Your favourite song of all time.
Anything of Ella Fitzgerald would be. I
God,
think Ella is.
couldn't go wrong.
She's wonderful.
You couldn't
She's
go wrong.
absolutely wonderful. She was in Cork some years ago, and I saw her live, and I met her after
was an
backstage, and
experience.
it was a wonderful experience altogether. It was.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And what do you feel is the most popular choice you can make on a morning such as this?
Well, again, a very general audience. They've just had the New Year's Day concert from Vienna, which is very, very popular.
yes,
So
of course,
we'll
that
be
was
starting
nice.
with a bit of Strauss this morning.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
We'll
So
have a listen to that now
yeah.
later on.
Yeah.
And we'll get back to you there now, and I'm going to ask you your favourites as well.
I have a very, very wide, varied selection.
But you still have a favourite?
I love opera, operetta, songs, ballads, instrumental, choral and orchestral music.
And do you find with your audience that that is kind of the general trend that they share?
That will please everybody. I have no doubt that this morning that my programme will be very well liked by everybody here this morning.
Well, we'll have a chat with your audience after that. So now I'm going to let these gentlemen continue with their programme this morning, and we'll come back later on and have a chat with perhaps some of the audience and see how it's going. In the meantime, you may hear some beautiful music in the background as we continue the programme. Thank you. Hello again. Now I'm joined here by Jenny Johnson. Now each year Jenny does a fundraising event for children with problems, and in 2008 she organised a road tractor run for an incubator for the children's ward at the Mercy Hospital, Cork, which was presented last week. Now I'm going to have a word with Jenny to know where she gets the inspiration, the time, the energy and support for an event such as this. So Jenny, tell us all about it, how you got the idea to look after children. Was there a particular reason for this in the first place?
Well, I've always had an affinity with children, having my husband and I have 8 between us and 11 grandchildren, and I hate to see a child in difficulties, and if I can help, I try. But last year, we couldn't find a local children's charity that we could support. So the committee said, we have a committee obviously, they suggested that maybe we could try a hospital for children's wards. So I phoned the Mercy and I was asked to contact Mihal Sheridan, who was with the Mercy Foundation. Unfortunately, Mihal was unable to find an incubator from the event where we held in May till November. Despite repeated phone calls to him, he couldn't come up with one. So the committee asked me to go direct to the hospital, which I did, and eventually I spoke to the Deputy Assistant Director of Nursing, a Carol Hunter. And she was absolutely fantastic. She organised an incubator within 24 hours. She ordered it and it was delivered in 6 weeks. And she must have worked miracles to do it, because
it was so difficult up to then.
Well, I couldn't understand why. And by the time we got to November, I was fed up with it. So
I know.
It took a lot to organise.
So when you start your fundraising, what's the first step? You have a committee, you said?
Yes.
And after that, do you make a decision? Who makes the decision? Do you discuss it a lot?
Oh, yes.
Because you must be running out of ideas when you're at it for so long.
Well, we all have our little jobs to do, so that we don't all ask the same people for donations, because that would be
difficult
terrible.
to continue, yes.
Oh, yes. So we have one member who provided all the leaflets and the printing, and he also took all the photograph. That was Richard, and his wife helped. And my right-hand man, as I call him, Aidan Ring, I couldn't have done it without him, because he knows all the tractor firms and so many people.
So I think all these people deserve a mention. So if there are any names you'd like to mention now is the time to do it. I know you're very grateful to all of them to cooperate with you in your idea of helping children. So therefore, as you say yourself, without the help of others, it's impossible.
Oh, absolutely impossible. We start the year before, so it was September 07 when I actually contacted the hospital for the event the following May. But my husband does all the marquees and organises toilets and the field and the water and things like that. And as I say, Aidan helps with the all the firms. We beg and borrow.
Well, the tractor road run, how would you get the notion to do a tractor road run?
Well, when we were in England, we used to have them every week.
Oh, yes. So
so we know what it is. Yes.
Yeah.
But they do a 25-mile route, circular route. Just follow each other.
And do you just get on to local farmers or people that have tractors just
everyone,
to do this?
If you pass a house and it's got a tractor in the drive, you knock on the door and say, come.
Yes, that's the way to do it.
Absolutely. And halfway round, my daughter cooks a hot meal. So they stand in the forest and have a hot dinner and a pudding and a coffee.
So apart from being a fundraiser, it's a wonderful occasion.
Oh, yes. Yes. And we live on the mountain, so the views are fantastic. We always pick a route that's interesting, otherwise they get fed up. And the lakes and the mountains around Ballingeary are fantastic. You can't buy views like that. They're absolutely fantastic. And they come from Tralee, Tipperary. We had people from England, down as far as Skull, everywhere in between. And the support is fantastic, and the village supports us as well. We had 66 raffle prizes donated. And I was walking across the field on the day from the registration marquee and to we cooked breakfast. And so I was going back, I cooked breakfast. And a man said, "Are you Jenny Johnson?" And I said, "Yes." He said, "I'd like you to accept this." And he gave me a cheque for €250. And I'd never seen him before. It's absolutely fantastic, the support.
So it's wonderful to hear that. I mean, this is 2008 and it's unfortunately the age of doom and gloom. So to hear someone like yourself being so enthusiastic, so giving of your time, and not alone you, but all the other people, the people on the tractors, people that give you money, and people that have big hearts, really.
Oh, yes.
That's what keeps you going.
Absolutely.
No question at all about it. Well, now, what we will do now is we'll go over to the presentation.
Fine.
Inside at the children's ward in the Mercy Hospital. I'm sure you're going to enjoy this.
I watch the sun.
We're supposed to have the first present.
How are you? And Margaret Kiernan is the assistant matron. Oh, hello. Nice to meet you. And Marion is one of our staff.
I'm not Mr. Tickle, I can't read.
And on this day,
How are you? And Deirdre is one of you. Yes.
Is that
Staff nurses and ward sister, yes.
Brilliant.
Colour incubator.
Brilliant.
Yes, and it just arrived on Wednesday, so we're delighted with it because, you know, it's going to be so beneficial for the infants, you know.
What age do they take
Up to 10 kilos can go in, but it would probably be up to about 3 to 4 months because otherwise the children would be too big, you know. But we'll have a lot of use for that because we take children from newborn right up to the age of 16.
Oh, right, okay.
And, you know, we have rooms for, we have some infants on the ward at the moment as well.
Okay.
So it'll be used in our high care room, which is this one here behind us, because the patient that will be in this, the child in this, will be a critically ill child.
Yeah.
So you can put oxygen in, you can put drips, and you can use these hand
Without having to actually open it.
without opening it and letting the child get cold. And
Because we can regulate the temperature, so we can actually strip the child down. All I have to do is have it snappy on, so we can observe them, especially. Yeah, like that. Yeah.
you know. I can read it out to you. It's Jenny Johnson, Spellingary, Tractor Road, around 2008. Donated €7,530 towards the cost of this incubator in the Mercy Hospital.
Brilliant. That's what I wrote. Well, this is the cheque that we collected from our Tractor Road run, €7,530 towards the purchase of this incubator for your children's ward. I'm delighted to give it to you, and thank you very much for all your help. If it hadn't have been for you, we would never have got it.
Thank you very much, and it's with great pleasure that I accept the cheque, and it's going to be a huge benefit to our infants on this ward.
Brilliant.
Thank you very much for your assistance.
You're very
Okay.
welcome.
Thank you.
close to me, following all my ways. May I be always close to you, following all your ways, Lord. I watch the moonlight guarding the night, waiting till morning comes. The air is silent.
Wasn't that a lovely evening, and wasn't it a lovely way to finish your big fundraising event in 2008?
I was absolutely thrilled, and Carol Hunter was so helpful and charming, and all the nurses were fantastic. And as you see, they're all dressed in pretty colours, and some of them are covered in teddy bears, and it's brilliant for the children.
Well, it's great for yourself, great for the work you put in, and all your helpers as well. And indeed, it was nice to finish up with a cup of tea as well.
Oh yes, fantastic. I was only sorry that two of the committee were unable to attend. One was Padraig Creedon, and he did all our road work, finding the routes. And of course my daughter, who cooked for everybody. Neither of them were able to come, and it was such a shame because it was such a lovely occasion. And to finish up with tea and cakes was quite unexpected, and it was lovely.
Very nice. So I'm sure now, viewers, you will all agree, I think the world needs a lot more Jenny Johnsons. Jenny, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you.
Now we're just back after the tea break here with the Gramophone Circle, and you can hear the beautiful music in the background. So we just have a chat with some of the audience here, and we find out how they're getting on this morning. So come with me. I can see Eileen Hackett here in front of me. We'll have a chat with Eileen because I know she's here at most of these sessions, and also I think she's also disc jockey from time to time. Eileen, how are you? Very welcome to the programme.
Very well, thank you.
Well, how's it going this morning?
Very, very good. Very nice. Very.
Do you approve
per
of the
usual.
music?
Oh, it's wonderful for everybody.
Yeah.
I mean,
and you will have seen now through the last 3 or 4 years how much the numbers have increased at these sessions in the morning.
Absolutely.
And it's become a kind of a social occasion, really.
Yes, actually.
And what would you like to say to people now that are viewing at the moment and maybe would say, God, that's a great idea, I was never in there before? You'd say, come along and we'll make you welcome.
Come along. It's a beautiful way to spend 1 hour and a half every month. And we have different people doing the programmes and lovely selection of music.
I know that you prepare some of the music yourself. How long does it take you to prepare?
Well, it takes me about the month, really, to put it together and to...
Yeah, because you're very selective about what you do.
Well, you see, and you don't want to repeat, and you try and have a varied selection.
So like the two guys up in front there now?
They're very professional people.
They're very professional.
They are.
But I asked them their favourite song of all time.
Yes.
So I'm asking you the same question.
Well, mine is Maria Callas singing Casta Diva.
Oh, very, very
That's
difficult
my
to beat
favourite.
that. Indeed, it's very difficult to beat that. All music lovers, is there anybody else would like to give a little bit of their views here? They're all turning away from me, I think. But anyway, we know anyway that we have our friend here beside us and another friend beside him. So no stranger to the viewing here, and I'll sit down because when he starts there's no finish to him. Donny O'Mahony is beside me here. So Donny, how's it going here?
Very well indeed. A lot of the stuff now played today is new to me, so it is very good to hear somebody's...
Something fresh?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. And what kind of music would you prefer to listen to?
Well, I take in all tastes. A lot of the big bands would be my favourite, and then the classics, Strauss, and not too much of the classics now. I would be very...
Would you listen to a lot of radio at home? I mean, saying music, like
I do.
we say, for example, Lyric FM, where to be predominantly music.
Just right.
Yeah.
Especially in the summertime. If I was in the garden now, I'd have Lyric on all the time, because it's music completely, and there's no interruption.
And it's relaxing as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's not very noisy.
Absolutely.
So you can introduce me now to your comrade beside you that's always here as well.
Oh, this is Peter O'Regan from Cruistown.
From
There's
Cruistown,
no need
yeah.
to introduce him.
Lizardo, really.
Yeah, Lizardo, of course, and of course, Peter, of course, will be well known in the music circles anyway, and he's no stranger here to the Gramophone Circle. So your music, how are you enjoying this morning's music?
Immensely. We have a very good programme this morning from Eddie Hogan and Ken O'Callaghan, and it's really very enjoyable, and personally I look forward to the Gramophone Circle meeting every month, and we're grateful to Eileen Hackett who organises it.
And you have your little cup of tea then as well?
We do, and there's a great bit of... We meet the old friends,
That's great, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is great.
So, once again, I'm going to ask you your favourite music, because we're trying to get a feel for what people would like here in the library.
Well, I have a very... Like Donal, I have a very...
It's the second Monday of every month, just in case I get that wrong, isn't it?
The second which?
It's the second Monday of each month.
It is the second Monday at 11 o'clock in the library in Macroom, yes.
So, anyway...
But anyway, I have a varied taste, really. Like classical, I love Irish traditional music, particularly dance music and songs as well. We get that here, and we get a varied program, and you may not like every single performance, but you'll get plenty that you will like.
But you know what? I'm going to ask these two gentlemen what they think of present day music. We'll say what we consider top of the pops, or what you'll be listening to on the radio. If you turned on, we'll say 2FM. So lads, come on, tell us, what do you think of that music? Rap and...
Well, I'm only just getting accustomed now to the Beatles and Elvis Presley. So I'm a bit behind the times,
I don't know what radio station you tune into.
So, they passed me by because I was too busy rearing the family while they were popular, you see. So I'm just getting into them now. So the modern, it will take me a bit of time.
And what about you, Peter? Are you more up to date than he is?
Not really, no, but I do like some of the pop music of today, but not the majority of it. I'm afraid I stopped listening years ago.
Fair enough. I think that's understandable. This piece of music, I think, is Cockmail Voice Choir. I think that he has it introduced, and you will admit it's absolutely very beautiful. We leave this beautiful music interlude here at the library. I'm sure you will enjoy the music in the background, and if you would like to come and join this wonderful group of people that like to listen to, I think, predominantly classical music, by talking to them all this morning. It is the second Monday of each month here at Macroom Library.
During 2008, Donal Ring Band, they celebrated 50 years of being on the road. They held their 50th anniversary concert in the Brody Gap, Macroom, and we covered this concert. Tonight we are bringing you part one of the Donal Ring Band 50th anniversary concert.
We're going to have a concert with Donal Ring Band. You're very welcome to the programme, Donal. So, just to start off, when was the last time you can remember you played in Macroom?
I think the last time we played here and was in the Castle Ballroom for Jerry Lucy, I think. God rest the man.
Yeah, Jerry Lucy had this building actually too.
And I have an awful idea, and that we played here once. I have that idea.
Yeah, that's possible because it was a concert venue. Of course, it was always known as Macroom Cinema.
Is that right?
But Don Lucy are, yeah.
Well, I must say to the fabulous venue, to the absolutely beautiful, lovely sound.
Jerry Lucy, wasn't it? Yeah, Jerry Lucy was the owner here. Of course he was.
That's
His
right.
brother was Dan Lucy. So you enjoy playing.
We enjoyed it because it's a lovely theatre. The theatre is absolutely gorgeous, you know. To the credit to you all, and thank you very much for having us here at the Brody Gap.
Oh, not at all. But then, of course, you would have played in the surrounding areas. There was times when there was the open air dancing.
That's right.
Platforms and all that.
That's right. We played Baxter and Raleigh, and we didn't know the Mons. We played for John Callan. I can't think of the platform, which was back near Toon Bridge. And of course we played in the dance hall in Ballyvourney and Kilnamartyr, and we played in Macroom, and we played all around the place up in.
But of course you're no stranger to Macroom anyway, because your roots are in Macroom.
My roots are in Macroom, and my father, God rest him, was from Rennery, Gotnavinge, and my mother was in Coolay. So my
You're
father.
a native.
I was often accused of being a Kerryman with the accent, but I suppose it was when my father and mother got the accent. But I went to school in Rennery for 2 years.
Yes.
It was very enjoyable, and I learned a lot of Irish, which I have forgotten. Unfortunately, you would forget it when you wouldn't be speaking it every day.
Indeed, you would.
So.
So when did you move from? You moved from Rennery then. Did you move as a child?
Well, I came as a child to Rennery back to my Uncle Danny and my Uncle John and my Aunt Maggie. And I went to school, as I said, for 2 years there, and then went back to Greenagh again. I went back to Ratoff School. And indeed, the master there, Master Cranage, was very interested in my Gaeilge, as he thought it was slightly different to the Irish he was using. It was a good loss to it, yeah. And he used to make me tell the stories in Irish. But as I said to you, you'd forget it when you wouldn't be saying it every day, you know.
So music was always in your family?
Music was from my father's side, and my father got it from his grandmother. She'd be McCarthy from Silver Grove. She'd be an aunt now, Jimmy McCarthy, the songwriter.
Oh, right.
So
and Jimmy was here in Macomb not so long ago. He was honoured as...
That's right, a fabulous artist in fairness.
Indeed, yeah. He got Freeman of the town here.
So we're all connected.
Imagine,
We are indeed, and
so the music is
as I said, no, his aunt was my grandmother, and it was from her. She used to play the melodeon. She was called the melodeon, and of course my father played it, and from there it kind of blossomed, you know.
It's like all one happy family. So in music,
it was. And
so in your early childhood days, now would you have thought about, was it sitting around the fire at night and playing away music, or was it kind of a ring household?
It was. The first influence was from my father, and to be fair to him, he used to play for hours at night, and he'd play in the morning.
Yes.
He had a lot of. He had a lot of mind for playing in the morning, you know, and
it's amazing.
Even Sunday morning he'd be playing in my mother's, which that give people go up to mass, and she'd say, "Put away that for me, don't the people be talking about us? They're going up to mass." But he was the influence, in fairness.
So moving on, then, when did you start playing yourself professionally? We'll say the dance band or the Donal Ring Band.
I started off with Donal Coleman from Rockhill in Greenagh. He was a very good player, and his cousin Denny. And I fell in with the two of them, and we got involved with a band in Malone in 1951-52, I'd say, and we spent 2 years together there, and then we left, and we got to know the Murphys, who were from Clondalkin side, and we started the Blarney Kelly Band, all of us together.
All right.
That was back in 1958. No, sorry, it was around 54. And then I progressed on. In 1958, I started my own band. And we struggled for a few years, you know, trying to get organised and trying to get going. But then we got television in 1966, and from there it took off.
And of course, in those days, like you play maybe from 9 o'clock until maybe 1 in the morning.
Indeed, you would, or 92, with no, that's 5
without
hours.
Without any support or anything like that?
No, and very bad amplification. You had just a couple of 12-inch speakers and a vortexian amplifier of 15 watt, and that was mighty stuff, that amp, you'd think, like.
And people would dance all night, of course.
They'd dance all night.
Of course, there'd be no alcohol in the dance halls.
Not that him, no alcohol.
If they did have a few points before they went in, they'd have it well sweated off, I'm sure.
They would, and you would.
Wonderful music.
And you'd hardly see anybody over the top, like, you know, they'd be all fairly cagey, like.
And have you any recollection what a person would pay to go in now in those days?
Oh,
you
3 or 4 shillings.
Yes.
That was a lot of money, that him. We used to be paid £6, £6 or £7 with our payment. That time, and you wouldn't sneeze at it, was a lot of money then.
It's good to know now, because that's what I'll give you tonight now as well, you see.
I know. You might give me a smile then more, then.
Well, so, and then of course in those days as well, dances seemed to be always happening on Sundays.
That's right, there were dances.
Which is amazing, really, when you
right.
consider the weekend, Friday and Saturday, and most people would be off on Saturday. Definitely Saturday night wasn't a night. That was a night for polishing the shoes and getting mass.
That's right, there was a reason, and I think there was a reason for that, and the reason, I think, you see, the dancing crowd at him, they'd all be dressed up for Sunday. And they'd go to the dance when they were done up, you know what I mean?
Oh, so they were doing the one job?
They wouldn't go to the trouble of shaving and all this stuff, and the women on the Saturday night, they're preparing for Sunday to go to Mass. But on Sunday night, that's what I think. They'd go because they were already ready to go, you know. But Yeah, they were great dancers, fantastic.
Yeah, and of course the exercise was fantastic.
So, sure, if the people of today only studied the dancing, sure, they need me walking at all. They
Yeah,
don't need
I know.
only dance,
Yeah, and of course there, when you'd see old films there, in particular things like Ballroom of Romance and that,
That's right.
and you'd see all the fellas lined up on one side and all the girls up on the other side. Is that the way it was?
Well, that's the
in
way
the
it was.
platforms and the dance halls and all
It
that?
was in the early days, you'd all the ladies, and a kind of a batting, the lady would be in early, and there'd be a big crowd of women in, and no man to be seen. That's what happened in the finish.
right.
And they'd come in late, around 12:15 or 12:20 after coming over the bars. And
so then the real business would start.
Yeah, but sure, go on. That went on for a while, but after, I suppose, 3 or 4 years, the ladies didn't come either. And they'd all come together, then maybe around 1:15.
Oh, yes.
After that, the next thing happened at the hotels and the bars ran little dance floors, and they kept the crowd all together. And the dance hall started away, and the next thing it was closed down completely. And it was a crying shame, I think.
It was a shame. No doubt about it, it was a shame. Can you see it coming back?
It was hardly in my time, but still, that's Katie's going on, in fairness, and it could come back. It could come back.
And would there be a locality now where you consider Cayley dancing far more popular than somewhere else?
You mean today, is it?
Today and before?
Well, the older days,
was it very much more the country places rather than the cities?
But we did
before now?
Yeah, we did a pile of work in the city as well.
Did you, yeah?
We did all the city hall. No, the Gallagher and Jimmy Shannon and Jim Cameron and all the band.
And what about nowadays? Is there a specific area that would be good into Cayley music?
I tell you, we're playing on that, and not plugging for myself, but I'm just telling what I think. We do play every Sunday night.
Is that right, yeah?
It is 9:30 to 11:30, and the dancers go in there, even though they're oldish, they're very good. Very good dancers, I must say.
You get a good crowd, yeah?
Now, we're playing Sunday weekend down in Middleton. We were there last year, and it was a fantastic night. So there are pockets around still,
Yes. There is a market for it, yeah.
There is, yeah. There's enough for me anyway, I don't want too much.
Of course, there's a big difference in the kind of dancing.
There is
nowadays.
I mean, the set dancing came in, and
the river dance then, of course.
The river dance, that didn't affect us really.
No, not really. No,
but actually, anything didn't affect us. But I mean, the trend now is we got a Carrigaline, they have a dance every month, and that would be a kind of a fear, Cayley, as we'd call it.
Yeah, Carrigaline is very, very strong in traditional music.
It is. But sure, they come from all over the country to that.
They do, yeah.
From all over the country to that dance.
And tell me, you did a lot of touring in your time. I know you did, and I know you were in the UK.
We were, yeah.
How far did you travel? Or how often did you travel? How long would you be away?
Well, the last 14 years up to 03 until I got getting along the tour and it was getting a bit much for me. We did 14 years in Scotland every year. The furthest away we went would be, I suppose, Canada. We were a fort in Canada back in '82, and it was fabulous. We had a bit of snag with the immigration there, but other than that, it was a lovely place to be. We went to Holland, and we played in France, and we played in England, of course, as you said, and Ireland, and we had a fair run.
When you were touring now, we'll say to Canada or indeed to Scotland or the UK, how long would you be away? Was it hard enough to be away?
Scotland was tough. Scotland was tough, but it was fantastic because the dancing was great, and they wanted us.
And it's a bit similar, anyway, Scottish music.
It was the way slower, and funny thing about it is that you don't start and stop where you like in Scotland. There are a set amount of bars for every dance, and you play that rigidly.
Right.
So you have to stay awake. If you miss your cue, like you could go on too long, and you would have dancers.
No bluffing there.
No, and you'd have dancers disappointed. I've seen them on the floor early on in the early days. Guys were kills, and this could be a Wars Day, and they stopped on the floor, and I looked up as much as what are you doing? But we discovered in that all the dances are 32 bar phrases, and we played it tonight, Buckle on Erden and Sean Glenn, when you come to bars and had that 24 bar waltzes. We didn't realise it until they put us under pressure,
Pointed it out. And did any of you then get official training, as in reading music and all that sort of thing?
No.
Or was it all handed down from?
Well, no, my son Donny went to Markella for a good bit.
All right, Mort, of course.
He was actually here tonight. Mort helped him an awful lot. Put him on the right road, kind of a thing.
Mort is a marvellous accordion player.
He's very good, and Noreen, they're fantastic.
Yeah, superb, yeah.
And what they've done for the youth and what they've taught.
Yeah, it is amazing, yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was great to see that.
To keep it going, of
course.
It is. What was playing tonight? He was late coming in. He was gasping. He said he missed the first 20 minutes. But having said that, they were a great family. You know,
So
and that's our age group. You know, and
So after 50 years now in the music business, surely there must be a highlight or two.
I should there was. I suppose if I can think.
What would be the greatest moment?
Yeah, I suppose RT. We got a lot of exposure on TV, and we played in some very big halls, especially in Scotland. You know, we're thinking about some fabulous places. We played in the presence of the late Jimmy Shannon and a lot of their musicians. And I mean, you could, from my point of view, I was buying their records and enjoying their music, but to think that they were inside in the same building as where we were playing.
That
was pressure.
Fair honour.
And it was fair pressure, I can tell you.
Pressure, of course.
Yeah.
And then all your family, of course, got involved.
Yeah, well, that's another thing. I was awful lucky that down through the years, I had some great personnel. They were great players. Even my daughter there now, and my son Donny and Dermot played in the band. My daughter really played in the band. My brother Michael was in the original band. He's back with me now again, Michael, and my brother George, God rest him. And I had what we call always said that they were great. I mean, I was fortunate to get them. You know, look, you're as good as your worst player. That's a saying. But I must say that I had some great players. Yeah.
But sure, that is the Ring family, and I suppose we could do now with a few Christie Rings back now on the hurling field as well, couldn't we?
We could do about 4 of them for Kilkenny at the rate they're going.
That's true. So we'll wind it up. Thank you very much, Donal, for talking to us, and we wish you success after your 50 years.
Thanks, Anne, very much.
Hopefully you'll be back again soon in Macroom. We'd love to have you back.
Next year, we'd love to be back too.
Because obviously with the show being booked out and everything, it means that you're still a very, very popular band.
Well, we must be doing something right, Anne. We must be doing
something right, and whatever it is, keep with it.
Yeah.
So thank you very much.
And thank you too. Thank you very much.
Good night.
And thanks to Dan.
Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. Now it's nice to be here in Macroom. You're all very welcome indeed. I hope you enjoyed the night. And we'll start you off now with some marches and sit back and relax. Thank you.
take any notice of Donal when he says, sit back and relax. If you want to clap or shout or stamp your feet, you're quite welcome to do it. And we were last week, a lady came to us, we were on Westmore the week before, I think, and she said, Donal Ring concert? No way, no way. But I'll just tell you a little story. Our first concert was about 15 years ago in Kelso in Scotland, in the Tate Hall. Now there was famous fellas there before us like Billy Connolly and a few other fellas, you know. But we were halfway into the show and we weren't getting a feedback at all, you know, the people were very quiet. And I was saying, oh God, lads, we're dead. So I snuck down the stage here, down the side, down to the side door, and I looked in at the people, and all the legs were going like this. And at half time we sold 300 tapes. So they must have enjoyed it. You enjoy yourselves tonight, and there are three ladies, I think there are three ladies tonight, maybe there are only two. Three musketeers from up the hill there, out there somewhere. What do they call that place you're from down? No. Rain and Ree, that's the place. I call them the three musketeers anyway, and they come and hear us and dance to us in Blarney, and we sing this song especially for them. But you can relax with the song, no, there's no stamping on it. Only be sure and clap at the end. As the golden sun shines down upon O'Leary, and the Irish hearts are happy here today. But on toast the calls to waves and the ocean, and the loved ones in those lands so far away. As the sunbeams start to gold the purple heather, and the shamrock in the valleys kissed with dew, there's a message on its way across the ocean. Sure, it's Ireland, Mother Ireland, calling you. There's a welcome to in Ireland for the stranger, for the shamrock wears a smile for one and all. From the Liffey to the lovely Shannon River, and Killarney to the hills of Donegal. As the sunbeams start to gold the purple heather, and the shamrock in the valleys kissed with dew, there's a message on its way across the ocean. Sure, it's Ireland, Mother Ireland, calling you. Sure, it's Ireland, Mother Ireland, calling you. We've discovered anyway that you have great taste and delight. The next song is a song that I had a long time ago from Brendan Grace, the comedian. And what a voice that man has. And this is a song he sang on tape, I think it was a tape I heard, Rings and Rose. And if you know the chorus, Please join me. In Dublin town there is a girl, little band of flowers I'm wearing, rose garden all fresh and new, and the love all hidden, if you don't sing it, and there she goes, eyelids and gold, in God's garden there's none better, and there she goes, eyelids and gold, Dublin town has seen none better. Sweet 17, my seamstress queen, she's no bigger than a thimble, so sad and skin, straight out its grin. Sure she makes the work look simple, and there she goes, eyes and rose, Dublin town has seen none better, and there she goes, eyes and rose, in the garden there's no better. 3 yards of lace to walk with grace, and a golden ring she's spent, the sailing slow, ah, still I know that our love is everlasting, and there she goes, eyes and rose, in God's garden there's none better, and there she goes, my rings and rose, Dublin town has seen none fairer. This time we have a few jigs, and like I said, let the hair down if you have it. My father's jig. have the lady in the group, Mary. Come on, give her a round of applause. She's going to sing to you Beautiful Isle of Somewhere, and there's a lovely chorus and it's nice and soft.
Somewhere the sun is shining, somewhere the flowers are blooming. Hush, there's a sound of sorrow, all is and all is well. Somewhere, beautiful light of somewhere, land of the true, where we live anew. Beautiful light of somewhere, somewhere the sun is shining, somewhere the songbirds dwell. Hush then, my family pining, all is and all is well. Somewhere, beautiful light of somewhere, land of the true, where we live anew. Beautiful light of somewhere the load is lifted, close by an open gate. Somewhere the clouds are rifted, somewhere the angels await. Somewhere, beautiful light of somewhere, land of the true, where we live anew. Beautiful light of
Is there any way we could have a little house lights up, because I'm looking into work vast dark instead. Vast dark. I'd love to be able to sit on a little bit, but because in case somebody might know me, you know. Next song is a song we learned this year again, but incidentally we have a new CD made that will be out very shortly. And this one of the songs will be on it. And boy, and you know that they'll be great at Christmas. dresses. They're only a tenner each. Oh, but we have the other ones here for last Christmas, the same thing. This song is it's called The Green Fields of Ireland, and I love the song because it's only this year I got it. And at the end of the song I always say this, the last verse goes something like, I pray that the end of the troubles will come and end all the hatred and bring back the fun. And a neighbour, once my enemy, will call me his friend, and the green fields of Ireland will unite again. And that's what caught my eye when I got the last verse. And when I do that I said, so here it is, and I hope you enjoy it. We are an island way out on the sea. We are the Irish as proud as can be. It's on summer breezes and wild winter winds, our hearts in the green fields of Ireland. Over the lea, across the Atlantic, the one who I see. The high hills of Banff through the coastline of there, the green fields of Ireland will welcome you there. We are an island way out by the sea. We are the Irish as proud as can be. It's on summer breezes and wild winter winds, our hearts in the green fields of Ireland. I stand in the harbour, what do I see? A brave ocean liner is waiting for me. There's young people leaving lands far away, and all that I ask is the right for to stay. We are an island way out on the sea. We are the Irish as proud as can be. It's on summer breezes and wild winter winds, our hearts in the green fields of Ireland. I pray that the end of the troubles will come and end all the hatred and bring back the fun. And a neighbour once my enemy will call me his friend, and the green fields of Ireland will unite again. We are an island way out on the sea. We are the Irish as proud as can be. It's on summer breezes and wild winter winds, our hearts in the green fields of Ireland. We are an island way out on the sea. We are the Irish as proud as can be. It's on summer breezes and wild winter winds, our hearts in the green fields of Ireland. Thank you.
And now, gents and ladies, I'd like to introduce to you a great friend of mine down the years, and you all know him, I'm sure, quite well. His name is Tony Hegarty. Tony, you're very welcome indeed.
We are, believe it or not. Are you enjoying yourself? Well, I'm going to put an end to that now. So we do a little number, myself and my friend Aaron here, and it's called Moonlight Bay. Is that it? How does it go? Right, we'll put this out here in this, and it goes something like this. We were strolling down Moonlight Bay. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with me? I think we were singing the song and she came up and she pricked me bit of a course.
Don't worry about that, no, man. She'll bring it back when she's finished with it.
She'll bring it back when she's finished with it?
Bring it back when she's finished.
Are you sure of that?
Don't worry your head about it.
Right.
Don't you know it? Yeah, we've an act to do. Come on.
Okay.
They're waiting for us.
Are we ready?
Already, she'll bring it back when she's finished with it.
She'll bring it, are you sure of that?
Don't worry at all about it. Just calm down. Don't wait patiently all night for us.
All right,
come on. Ladies and gentlemen, after all of that, I'll hand you back to the Donal Ring Band.
I had to leave the stage there because I get very embarrassed with you. Now we're back to Mary. Mary will sing for you Mick McGilligan's daughter. I think her name was Mary Ann, so you better get ready for the chorus. Mick McGilligan's daughter.
He's a gallant Irish man, he's a daughter Mary Ann, the sweetest native pine in the fire. Though she has no silk or satin, she's a wonder at my baton, in a fluid fascinating sort of style. When she's selling filter fish, sure it is her fondest wish to capture with her heart some handsome man. And no matter where she goes, sure everybody knows that she's Mick McGilligan's daughter Mary Ann. She's a darling, she's a daisy, and she drives the people crazy. She's legs and arms upon her like a man. And no matter where she goes, sure everybody knows that she's Mick McGilligan's daughter Mary Ann. She knows white frocks and dresses and some gorgeous one-piece dresses. She can use her feet delightfully in a dance. And a little Rick of mother doesn't cause her any bother, and those foreign terrible talents straight from France. We've a bully every year when her birth is drawing near, with all the falling pains in his heart. For he's got to lose his daughter as another one has fought her. He knows with Mary Ann he'll have to part. He's a darling, she's a daisy, and she drives the people crazy. She's legs and arms upon her like a man. And no matter where she goes, sure everybody knows that she's Mick McGilligan's daughter Mary Ann. Her fiance's name is Jim, he is wiry, tall and slim. He tarries at the milk bar all day long, but he's cushioned out tonight in his very glorious fight. Every single man from mine has heard them gone. Sure he gives his daughter and to the care of her good man, but he's drowning in confetti and in rice. And at the breakfast after there be songs and dance and laughter, and roast her to a stout or to surprise. She's a darling, she's a daisy, and she drives the people crazy. She's legs and arms upon her like a man. And no matter where she goes, sure everybody knows that she's Mick McGilligan's daughter Mary Ann.
Thank you very much indeed. Now the next number, this is a little number I learned back in Rainering when we were going to school. It's called Bochel O'Neill, followed by Sean Iguil Graham.
Thank
think we have a few in from Rainery, have we? Just a few because they're Platinum Melon, don't know. Well, this song I learned in Blackpool National School. Does anyone here know where Blackpool is? Oh, thanks for that. I'm sure you learned the song too, and the song is The Lonely Woods of Upton. I know I can't see too well, but I'd love to hear you sing with me. Not the chorus, no, the whole thing. Many homes are filled with sorrow and love. Many hearts are filled with anguish and with pain. But old Ireland now she hangs
brings us to the end of this first half of our show. So, and now for Donal Ring, for Pat O'Reilly and the entire band, would you give them a warm round of applause?
You enjoyed our program, and we'll see you again next week. Thank you for watching.
When the golden sun is setting far beyond the ocean blue, the silvery moon is rising o'er the hills of Limerick town. I often dream of Erin and my friends so far away, and the bonny hills of Fenna on the banks of Mulroy Bay. I often see my mother sitting by her cottage door, my sisters and my brothers as they wander around the shore. On a lovely summer's evening in that dear land far away, and the fishing boats had anchored on the banks of Mulroy Bay. I may never see my Mary, nor the place where I was born. I may never see the reapers blowing down that yellow corn. Still I long for dear old Fenna, where I sported light and gay with the boys from Balnahearan on the banks of Mulroy Bay. I'm all alone in exile, far from my native home, a poor forlorn stranger, o'er this wide world I must roam. Still I'll ne'er forget old Ireland and that morning dark and grey, when I bid farewell to Mary on the bank